questions. Let me start by asking two questions. Before today, raise your hand if you've heard about Lime or LimeBike. Oh, all right. Raise your hand if you've tried any of our products in the past. All right, great. This is great. So hopefully, after today, I will be able to convert a little bit more people. Let's get started. So let me share a little bit more background about Lime. So Lime is the largest micro-mobility and personal smart mobility platform in the US. And we're founded in early 2017. And the headquarters is based in San Mateo. So what we do is dockless bike share and scooter share. What's that about? So basically, it's on demand. It's very affordable, $1 to start. And then it's very available. We have over 30,000 vehicles deployed across US and 3 countries in Europe. And that number is adding. And then it's also very accessible, meaning that all you need to do is to download the app, use the app to scan the QR code here, unlock the scooters or bikes, and then you can go for a ride. You don't need to use your car anymore. And after you're done with your ride, use your phone to lock the scooter or manually lock the bike, and then you're done. Just make sure that you park responsibly. There's no docking, station, but please park responsibly. We're working really hard to educate people, but very lucky to raise some capitals from awesome investors, including, of course, Berkeley, Skydeck. We're backed by them, and also Kevin Durant. My founding story was actually quite simple. So it all starts from a simple personal pain point. So when I first came to the US for my study, I bought a bike together with my other 2 classmates. So the idea was to use the bike to commute between my apartment in North Berkeley and Haas, right? So unfortunately, both of my 2 friends, classmates, lost their bikes by parking the bikes next to the building on day 1 and day 2 after they come to school. And then fortunately, I was able to keep my bike without being stolen because I stopped using that on day 3 by seeing what happened to them. So that kind of planted the seed for my startup dream, right? And then, like many startups, in the Silicon Valley, I started to build my first prototype in my garage. Luckily, I got my first CMO from day 1, Chief Mechanics Officer, who was my 3-year-old son. He helped pump the air, assemble the very first LimeBike out there. It's very green, and as you can see on the background, there's a green golfer bag. So it also kind of shaped my ideas of naming this company. We wanted it to be green. We wanted it to be environmental friendly. And also, fast forward, right? 16 months later, we were able to iterate the product very fast. So we iterate 9 times, 9 different versions. And this is the latest version, Lightning McQueen bike, ridden by my 4.5-year-old son. I'm just kidding. It's actually all the products is behind him, which includes bike, e-bike, and scooter. And I would like to share a short video. So these are the latest family photo of the products. And actually, if you ask me, what was the biggest gift that I had at Haas, right? I would say, really, have the experience to be able to take risk and then take initiative, and also, meet my co-founder. So Brett Bao who is also has alumni class of 2005. So he welcomed me when I first came to the MBA, and then he recruited me to his VC firm. 4 years ago, we worked together a little bit, and then we decided to work together on LimeBike. So really, I think Berkeley Haas is really the dot connector, and ever since then, starting from June last year, we launched 60 different markets across the nation, and Zurich, Berlin, and Frankfurt. So we're now the largest company in this space, which has the most chips, revenues, and also hiring the most people. Very proud of that. And so far, we've done 2.5 million chips in total. Actually, by yesterday, we just hit our 3 million chips. So, and also all the chips putting together is already over 10 labs, around the Earth. And more importantly, I think the social impact behind that is also very powerful. We're able to save a lot of calories, or burn a lot of calories, which is equal to 130,000 Big Mac. 70,000 gallons of gas saved, and then over 1.5 million CO2 saved. And when we talk about what shaped me or shaped this company, when I reflect everything, I would say the 4 defining principles did play an important role. And I want to share a little bit story with you. If we look at the status quo, right? So in the US now, the country is built primarily on the car, and the first mile transportation is broken. Public transit is not very convenient, and 50% of the car chips is under 3 miles, and then 70% of the car chips is under is single occupancy. And if you open the Google map nowadays, you see this every time, within the high density areas, within 1 mile radius, biking or scootering is always the most efficient and affordable option. It's 50% or more faster, 2 to 3x cheaper. And we're very confident about our product and service, but we don't think it's the only problem solver. We think working with the city is super important, and being able to respect what's out there and then customize a program for the city is important. Unlike some of the other players in the field, like Uber and Lyft, taking slightly aggressive approach, right? So instead, I think we're confident with our product, but in the meantime, we shouldn't take it for granted and take any attitude. So we shape our own city-friendly approach, work with the city. This is the first major market that we launched, South Bend, the city of Notre Dame University. And this helped us to shape the playbook for us to launch more and more markets. It was actually slow at the beginning because it takes time to talk to the city officials. But once we established the reputation and playbook, it actually way faster than going a little bit rogue. So now we are facing a little bit challenging situation in San Francisco because this is the hardest market in the world in terms of regulation, everything. But still, we're the only companies that's insisting talking to the city and then trying to figure out a way to work together. And if you look at this animation, this is the accumulated trip heat map in San Francisco. We can see a ton of ridership in the entire city, especially Soma and the Fisherman Wharf area and Embarcadero, right? So we've done over 100,000 trips in the past 30 days. And we also share data, which was not done by a lot of players in this field. And we think it's important because the city can use the data. For the first time, they know where the users, riders are going specifically because we have GPS, everything to check. And it helped them to build the to plan better on the urban infrastructure, everything. That's something we want to see. Always, I think, I've a lot of things I don't know. So I spent more than 30% of my time building advisor board and my little circle that can help me to grow faster. So as a student in my organization, I have an amazing board that I spent the past 16 months to build. So the Mayor Nader, who was the two-time mayor at Philly, helped me with government relationship. Joe Akwaku, VP of Government Relationship at the Lyft, helping me with that too. Ed Baker, who was considered one of the best growth guy in the Silicon Valley, who was also VP of Product and Growth at Uber, helped me to develop a better product use case. Also, it's important for me to bring someone to the group and to the team to always do something better than I did. So one recent hire that I did is to recruit Scott Kubley, who used to be the director of Seattle Department of Transportation. So amazing person, really helped the company to bring the company to the next level. Last but not least, vision is something that we live and breathe every day. We take it very, very seriously. And that's something we think if we do that right, it can bring us to the next level, go beyond ourselves. First, we want to build a billion-ride company instead of billion-dollar company. I think it's important to focus on the service instead of the dollar amount. Also, we think by doing what we are doing now, we're actually bridging the US and China, which is where I come from originally. In terms of all the core capabilities, competencies around hardware, software, operations, city relationship, and then make a truly impactful business. And then last, I think, instead of just considering what we're building around bike and scooters nowadays, we're actually building something, we want to build something even bigger than that, beyond what we're building now, which is a household brand in the future for the US markets that can impact people's life multiple times every day. And I would like to encourage and invite everybody in the team, in the room here to, drive less and then ride or scooter more. If you have a smartphone, you can do it. Just download the app and then go to the wallet page. There's add a promo code. Proud to share the Lime for Love promo code. Please use that. There's some free credits. And from today, you can scoot around or bike around in the Bay Area and in the nation. Thanks for having me. Thanks.